All right, everybody, welcome back to the channel. This is Robert Smirking Gun Reviews. We are finally at the end of Friends from College Season 2. It's episode 8. It's called The Wedding, so full spoilers if you haven't seen the episode. So this will be probably the last time I review this show. If there's a third season, I don't think I'll be reviewing it. Not just because the views aren't there, but because, to be honest with you, even though I know I'll continue to watch it, if it comes back, I kind of just don't care anymore what happens to these characters. Like I've said before, I love the actors. I don't think there's a weak link in this group as far as acting goes. But the writing, these people all deserve better than this. And they're written to be just such like they're not like It's Always Sunny. They're so narcissistic. It's funny. It's just not. They're not people that I really want to root for. Like, I felt bad the most was for Charlie. I actually like that Charlie got his revenge. I love the beginning of this episode where it's Charlie trying to figure out how to box and how to toughen up because, you know, he feels wronged. And even though he was wronged by her, kind of. Pardon me. He maybe doesn't need to go this far, but I did enjoy the fact that he goes out there to fight. He's pissed off. And a character's doing something for, like, at least, even if it's misguided, it's for a reason. Like, he's got this one goal and he's going to try to do it. Everybody else is just such a mess. And it's all just, forced. It just all feels so forced. Everything just falling apart for the sake of the story. All the things that have been building up. Like, Lisa is, she started out as a victim of this 20-year affair that Ethan and Sam had. And because they decided to make her, I can't tell Ethan about the baby, and then I'm not gonna fully talk to Nick about it, and I'm not gonna she becomes she can't be, I don't know, just Cobie Smulders' character deserves better than the way that they wrote her. I guess they just wanted her to be as flawed as everybody else, because she was the one that was like the most, the only one that was kind of like a victim and all, in this group. Nick, he had the right, reaction, like, you suck. And she did. When he left her, Sarah Chalke's character, she really did. She was laying it on thick. She's done this before. When she sees somebody's happiness, she tries to undercut it. And she saw Nick being happy. She was jealous of what he had. He knew that, she kind of liked him. And so she said the right things to him that made him go, you know what, I've always liked Lisa, and I didn't know that I had a shot. Now she's giving me a shot. And then she doesn't. She hides the whole pregnancy thing and makes him feel like a chump, just like Charlie. And Sam meeting up with John. And after once he busts out the second recording that's supposed to make up for it, she should have walked out of the restaurant. But she didn't. The writers decided they were going to make her wishy-washy. They were going to do that cliche of, I didn't say yes and I didn't say no, leaving Ethan hanging. And then Ethan, who doesn't even call Sam to tell her about the baby, explaining why he can't go to Paris this second, is another dumb thing that I don't even think the character would do. He's so shocked that he completely forgets a whole person is waiting for him at the airport. Bullshit. The writers on this show just are creating conflict for the sake of conflict, and they're not giving these characters any kind of happy ending. And you can say, well, it's not real life or something. No, look, man, all these things that these people do, they're not acting like people do. You don't just forget common courtesy because somebody from your ex-wife tells you that she's pregnant. Yeah, you freak out, granted. But you still know you're going to fucking Paris. You don't just suddenly forget a trip to Paris and the person you've been sleeping with for 20 years. You just don't do that. And then, so it leads her to just go back to John, begrudgingly. Because what other option? Because then that's her stupid mistake, is why doesn't she try to find out what's going on instead of just going home and falling into John's arms? All these people are behaving stupidly. Even Nick, who sees a kid, and this at least was funny, as he sees a kid at a park and he's genuinely happy to see, a mother and child, and yeah, she looks at him like he's a creepo, and then he realizes, oh God, I'm sitting outside of a playground staring at kids. That's funny at least. But then him tearing ass across and then not knowing what he's saying to her about, I just want to raise the kid with you and blah, blah, blah. Like suddenly he just has a complete brain aneurysm and doesn't know what he's saying. So instead of just saying, hey, look, I want to give it a shot. I know it's not my kid, but the writers don't want him to be rational. They want him to just be a goofy, stupid asshole on rollerblades. I mean, the only funny part, the only realistic part of that was when Marianne kept trying to interject and he'd be like, shut the fuck up. At least that was kind of believable. And then, okay, then Max. Then we have Max here, who finds out that Felix, finally finds out that Felix stepped in, and that's why Ethan was going in to do the co-writing thing. And he's flipping out about Ethan, who turns the tables on him. I love that Ethan does this to him. Because once he figures, starts to see, like, I don't want to do this, I'm just not going to do it, and I'm going to flip the script on this kid, then Max is stuck. Max got what he wanted, but once he got it, he realized he didn't. And that's Max's fault. That wasn't Ethan's fault. And I kind of applaud Ethan for trying to get out of it. Because he just didn't want to write this book in general. And if all this is Max's ideas and all these things, then, Max wanted the idea of being a writer. But when it came down to the actual work, he couldn't do it. And then when he tells Ethan about the baby and then tries to say, oh, he forced it out of me. Max is just such a little bitch sometimes. I think Fred Savage is hilarious in this part. Don't get me wrong. I think everybody in their parts is hilarious. Can be hilarious. Very many times. The whole scene where the guy was punching everybody. When Charlie comes up and socks Nick and then socks Ethan. Again, Cobie Smulders in that scene, though, was like, I don't know. Maybe that scene wasn't that great in retrospect. The punch was fine. But why they're running away from this guy, I don't know. Are they that big of wussies? And it just... Oh, and I'm sorry, but I know that it was supposed to be kind of like, Dear God, is Felix really singing Loving You is Easy Because You're Beautiful? I was cringing so hard. Like, I was just like, oh. But they were loving it. They were all impressed with it. And I got to admit, Billy Eichner did a good job. But it was just like, who does that at a wedding, and who would want that? Who would be looking on with like, wow, that's fantastic. That was bizarre. That was a bizarre choice to do that. So I wasn't laughing. I was going, oh man. Because I couldn't tell if Fred Savage was happy with that or not. I thought he was like going, oh my God, what is happening? But he loved it. So I mean, to each his own, I guess, but. So I don't know. Ethan finding out at the end, and I do like him beating her to the hospital. I do like that. I do like the end where they see the baby and, like, what now? Are they going to be a couple again? I don't know. But I don't care. They've had 2 seasons to kind of work this shit out. This should have been a 2-season show and over as far as I'm concerned. I know that, like I said, though, I know I'm going to watch it. Because it's like a train wreck. I can't not watch it. Like, I just have to keep seeing how much worse these people can be. They shouldn't be friends. I said this like at the end of season 1, and how toxic they could all be. You know, like they're just, I don't know. This show suffers from some of the worst writing with a cast this good. It is not, I don't know how they're dealing with it, except cha-ching, give me my Netflix money. So, honestly, if they cancel it and they never bring it back, I'm fine with it. If they bring it back, I'll watch it. But unless the writing, and I'm serious, like I'm not going to do episode to episode if they bring it back. I'll do a full season review if the writing is good. I'm not going to take, one episode at a time and go, oh, that episode was good if the next one's bad. I'm just going to review season 3 as a whole. That way I can binge it in like 4 hours and just be done with it, instead of taking a week to do one episode at a time on a show that just isn't worth it writing-wise. Again, like this cast is fantastic, but they deserve so much better. So, and I wasn't even going to do this video. I did it because I did all 7, and I was like, fuck it. Just finish it. Tell everybody the truth. Tell them your honest opinion about it, like you always do, and then it'll be over, and you can start doing The Punisher tomorrow, which is what I'm really looking forward to. So I did this out of obligation to my channel, to the people that do watch this, to the very few people that watch this, and just to myself, because it's been a crazy day, it's been a long day, and I kind of feel like these characters, in a way, like everything is just nuts. So, anyway, if you liked this ranty review, please hit the like button, comment, share, subscribe, all that rigmarole. Otherwise, this is Rob at Smirking Gun Reviews saying we'll be back tomorrow with the first review for The Punisher. Yeah, have a great night.